What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday morning to all of you. Welcome to Betting with the Bag. 9:01 a.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica. 11:01 a.m. in Miami. We are 12 days away from doing it up right in Miami. If you still want hotel rooms, Diplomat, Beach Resort, talk to me. I can still possibly get you the deal, but the link is no longer up and running. We have a packed show today. A packed show. I'm pretty upset about yesterday. Another situation of me reaching on the late show. So since the start of the Big Boss contest, for instance, the morning full game bets I've put into the contest, I'm 6-0 in them. But I'm reaching on totals in the late show. It's disappointing not getting to that over in a couple of different, there were some bad bounces. I should have probably got to that over in the Dodgers-Cardinals game. It was 8-0, after 6. And I just needed that fucking bum to get me 2 more outs in the Reds game before he allowed a 2-run home run. So I lost the under there. But those things just happen. That's just part of baseball. But a 6-6 day, 5-6 with my bets because I didn't bet the Cubs under because my book was offering 5.5 and I got 6 on the show. So just all this mediocrity is driving me crazy. But maybe our guests will help us out of this mediocrity. I just every single day I'm going 500 and losing the juice. And yesterday was no different, 6-6. I'll just quickly go over it, then I'll welcome everybody to the show and tell you about this giant show because we have guests. I hit Brewers Pirates over 10 plus 100 cash. Pirates team total over 4.5 cash. Orioles first 5 miss, going for a big score there. They were an inning too late with their runs. White Sox -1 cash. Royals plus 220 first 5. That was another miss. Reds -1 cash. LA Cincinnati under 9.5 miss. Cubs first 5 -0.5 miss. Oakland, Chicago, first 5 under 6 cash. Phillies -103 cash. And then I lose 2 totals late. Washington, San Francisco over 8.5. And St. Louis, LA Dodgers over 9.5. Just reaching on the late show is killing me. I don't know what. I just need a little bit extra excitement. I don't know what the hell's going on with me reaching at stuff that I don't need to take. But overall, everything is okay. We have a huge show. Parlay Poppy joining us and Aunt L from the Sports Keg. Then Drew Martin, 3 guests. Poppy joining us in 16 minutes. Shout out to all the cappers on the chat. Vinny Cornell, Walla Walla Dose, Coactus, Lanil, Ty Clinton, JP, Poppy Longwood. Poppy Longwood, I can't wait to party with you in Miami very soon. Ty Clinton, Aaron Bistron. Aaron Bistron saying, White Sox filling the well for your boy. Nothing like the bag and low bag fam to get through the commute. Respect Aaron Bistron. We got Rich J. Blue Jays team told yesterday, unbelievable. I felt so bad for you guys, man. Right away, 2-0 after 3 innings. I'm like, oh, the boys are all going to cash in. Oh, God. Pissed me off. Josh Boyno, Ricky, Bobby, Bookie, Lover, Q, coming off an 8-3 day yesterday, says the chat is on fire. Bookie, Lover, Q, you are a big part of that and the reason why we are. Also, today is the first live audible of the year. We got Joe Rich Ramirez, RK404. We got at Young Chillionaire. We got Vaughn Burgess. Been a while since we had Vaughn Burgess, CT Bays, Sebastian Arnold, Bob Taylor, Nutflush Allen. Says, sorry about my read about the Giants play. My read on Jeff was right. And yes, Russell Gordy, I knew coming back from Colorado was in play. Just thought Nats would score more. Yeah, Nutflush Allen, you put tons of cash in our pocket. We're not going to go 100%, right? There's going to be times where you lose. Nutflush Allen says, morning, boys and girls, went 1-1 yesterday. Nasty Nate, ready to go. All right, let's get to business. Matt Randall in the house. Anthony L, there he is right there. Can't wait to have him break down games with us. Love these Tuesdays with Ant L. Poker Addicted 79. Astute Chaos, the Icon. Von Polo, Prince of the City. Tennis Gamblers, a quick Rogers Cup ATP. And wow, okay, so Collins, Tom Jonovich, and said he would take Serena, but -260. Interesting. Eddie Olis, just nice call on the Phillies, Jimmy and Drew Martin. Yeah, the Phillies, that was very, very easy, I felt. Just Velasquez, he's in a good place right now, and I want to fade him nonstop. There's Jorge, don't play. There's Antoine Seymour. You want to play with You want to play. You want to party with Antoine Seymour? You come to Miami. Gin Rummy in the house. Said Jimmy. Most people losing long term to bet late line movements, and they probably don't even know it. Yeah, you've mentioned that to me before, and I don't think I would. In all honesty, from breaking it down from a psychological aspect, I don't think I would add on late plays like I've been doing if this was about survival, like it used to be. Now that it's not about survival, I think and by that meaning survival by gambling's not putting food on my table and paying my rent. Because of that, I'm reaching for enjoyment, and my unit size has gone down to 125 in baseball. And I know that's happening, and I've got to do something to stop it from happening. All right, let's get to work. And we have one morning game. We have 14 minutes till Parlay Poppy joins us. So let's just get through as many games as we possibly can. Rafa, could you put up that record for me off a 6-6 day? Unbelievable. I just can't seem to get any headway. But I'm 6-0 in the Big Boss contest. Okay, let's just not sit here and whine like a little bitch. Game 1, White Sox, Tigers, Dylan Cease. I thought he showed us something in his last start against the New York Mets. Tigers 13-37 at home. What an abomination. White Sox 22-33 on the road. They've not been good after the break, but they seem to be getting their shit together. Tigers, as always, have lost 4 straight. White Sox are hitting 266, 735 OPS versus lefties. Tigers are hitting 229, 666 OPS versus righties. Now, Cease did allow 4 runs in the game against the Mets, but he showed something to me. That was a hot lineup. He seemed to subdue them. Dylan Cease, 1-4, 6.43 ERA, 1.54 whip, 28 innings, 27 Ks, 14 walks, 5 homers. Daniel Norris coming off an okay start too. He's a Jekyll and Hyde pitcher himself, but I believe in this guy. I think it could be a bet on pitcher next year. Daniel Norris, 3-8, 4.67 ERA, 1.40 whip. Okay. Jim Rummy says, you wish sure. At least be responsible for your actions. You're right, Jin Rummy, and it helps. Jose Ruiz says, game screaming under in Detroit. Now, if you were on this market move, if you had your sportsbookreview.com market odds in front of you, you would have been able to get it at a juicy number. Oh, it's back at 9. Okay, but I believe, let me see if there's any 9.5s ever. I thought that yes, there was a 9.5 available for 3 minutes. 3 minutes yesterday, you could have got a 9.5. And Jin Rummy is one man I know has already got the 9.5. Matt Reynolds and Norris has some filthy stuff. Eddie Wallace says Tigers are averaging a major league worst 3.60 runs per game. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here with the money lines and totals. Here we go, full game. So BetOnline opened it at 9, but we just saw Pinnacle had it at 9.5 at some point. Did BetOnline ever have it at 9? Or 9.5, excuse me. So did they. Oh, this must not be up. Sorry, I've got to log in. Sorry, my fault. That's why. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I had to log into my SBR account. There we go. 9.05. It opened at 9.5, and it was heavily juiced to the over at 9.5, minus 125. So those of you who wanted that needed to grab it at 9.5. The Tigers opened up at minus 115. They're now at minus 110. I believe in Dylan Cease here. Mr. Jocelyn says, thanks a bunch for the follow, Jimmy. Let's get some money today. My pleasure, Mr. Jocelyn. I've been loving your insights on the show, and my pleasure. I'm looking forward to working with you. Okay. White Sox are hitting 266, 735 OPS versus lefties. They have a high average, but not a lot of power. Chicago's bullpen gave up 1 run in 3 innings during Monday's series opener, and now we have a White Sox bullpen, first time all year, that's looking good. Evan Marshall, Aaron Bummer, Jace Fry, Alex Colomb. Alex Colomb's allowed 5 earned runs since June 8th. Cease went deep into the game on Thursday against the Mets through 104 pitches, 4 runs, 7 hits, 7 innings. I like him. Jose Ruiz has a revenge game for Norris. Ronnie Christie says, I think this game is avoidable. I can't put money on Cease. I could understand that look, but I want to back Cease. Ronnie Christie says, I like game 2 so much more. I get it, but I want to back Cease here. And I want to keep fading this Tigers team that's trash. Now, I'm certain that, I should say certain, I expect that we do not have the lineups up. Let's quickly see if we can take a look at a lineup here, but I bet we can't. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Oh yeah, we do. Okay, perfect. All right, we got Garcia, Anderson, Abreu, Jimenez, Castillo, Goins, Engel, Sanchez, and Cordell for the White Sox. For the Tigers, we have Jacoby Jones, Castro, Dixon, Goodrum, Lugo, Hicks, Demerit, Rogers, Reyes. This is easy for me. There's my guy, the fight analyst in the house. Can't wait to party with the fight analyst. Also, the fight analyst and our Mr. Fatfist, a live show when we're in Miami, live UFC breaking down China. the China UFC. Fight analyst has got to take Dwight Joseph plus 135 for tonight's contender series. You hear that? Dwight Joseph at a plus number from our guy, the fight analyst. I'm going to take the White Sox here. I am going to take the White Sox here, full game. And I'm getting plus 100. Oh, plus 101. Plus 101 at UWager. I think this White Sox train keeps on rolling. I love that this bullpen's playing better. All of it together. There's my guy, Max Wellsmart. Put a little energy into the show. Every time I see Max, I think, God, I got to step my shit up, because that's what Max would be doing right now. He'd be stepping his shit up. And here I am, almost whispering early in the morning. There's Ron Crawford. Spreadsheets go 4-1 yesterday. Man. And today, Cleveland, Tampa, Minnesota, and Detroit game 1. Oh, no. Oh, no. Detroit game 1. Oh, no. I don't like reading that. Copying and pasting that. Oh, no. Okay. God, going up against the spreadsheet, this is no good. Mr. Gokster says no score in the first. Oh, I don't like that. Man, I'm surprised that the spreadsheet likes Detroit game 1. Look at that lineup. Jones, Castro, Dixon, Goodrum, Lugo, Hicks, Demerit, Rogers, Reyes. Oh, no. All right, I'm on the White Sox plus 101, but I'm now very concerned. We got DJ Big Boss in the house. He'll be joining us live from somewhere tomorrow. And then Joe and Nisi ready to go. Red Girl. Little 6-0 start in your contest, Big Boss, but who cares if I'm going 6-6 here on the show? But it is happening. Okay. All right, so I'm on the White Sox plus 101. That makes me very uncomfortable. Here we go. Brewers Pirates. Let's see how many games we can get through before we have Poppy joining us in 8 minutes. Eddie Weller saying Abreu 6 for 16, 2 doubles. Garcia 3 for 9 of each. Played well versus Norris, who's 1-1 with a 6.00 ERA and 3 starts against Chicago this season. Yeah, I like it. You know, I'm Norris ended his winless drought in his last start, but that Angels team, you know, is not hitting. He goes 5 innings. This year, Norris is 2-1 with a 3.96 ERA against the White Sox, but overall, he's had numbers against them. I'm going to keep this rocked and rolled, and but I'm very concerned going up against Ron Crawford's spreadsheet. Okay, let's move on to Brewers Pirates. Let's see what we're talking market-wise here. Brewers Pirates. The Brewers opened up at minus 130. There's been a 14-cent move towards them. And I get it. Brault coming off of IL. But you guys have seen that I've fallen in love with Brault this year. And he's rewarded me for backing him. This total opened at 9.5, now 10. Now, I'm not going to back Brault off the IL. But this guy who was, and Twatty let us know, he was the minor league pitcher of the year in the Pirates organization either last year or 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago. But Brault being on the IL, right? Being on the IL, he said that his start Thursday, AAA Indianapolis, was not great. I also like that. I hate when these guys, you know, get touched a little bit and are like, oh, my stuff was electric. I'm going to come up and show everybody. Not great. He said, so he allows 2 runs, 3 hits, and 4+, 5 walks, wild pitch. He said, stuff was good. I felt really good. Said pitching to hitters for the first time, command wasn't there, getting a little jumpy, excited, happens to everybody, right? But he said his shoulder feels great. This guy, in his 7 starts before he went on the IL, 8 earned runs allowed, 2.04 ERA. I like him. Oh, whose birthday? Shit, I missed the birthday. That Fire TV's birthday. Shit. Dat Fire TV. OG low bagger. Happy birthday, Dat Fire TV. I hope it's a spectacular day. August birthdays are always nice. You always got perfect weather. Dat Fire TV, happy birthday. Our guy, let's get Dat Fire TV a winner. Bookie Lover Q says White Sox has a dog versus lefties. The formula for a win. Von Polo says, did the Jays win the game but didn't catch the team model? Yes, they did, Von Polo, somehow. And there is our guy. Happy birthday, Dat Fire TV. Love that guy. Okay. So, look, I hate when I say that. I've been saying look way too much lately. The Brewers had lost 4 straight before last night's 9-7 win. They got runs yesterday. Pirates have lost 3 straight, 13-15. And Chase Anderson looks good. He looks good. Now, he's had 6 no decisions in his past 7 starts, but he's allowed 2 runs or fewer in each of his past 8 starts. He looks very good. What are we going to get from Brault? I don't know. And I can understand this market move towards the Brewers, but I like Brault. And I'm not going to fade him here. There's Brooke Jordan. Good morning, Brooke Jordan. Thank you so much for joining us. Doug Barnhouse ready to go. There's No Lead Knows. Couple of winners there with his unders, first 5 unders. So at this point, I'm not going to fade Brault, but I understand why somebody would. And I'm also not going to back Brault or back an under. Even though it's fair to assume Chase Anderson will have an okay start, I'm still not going to do it. And it's not my love for Brault getting in the way. I just think this guy has got a high upside. Ronnie Christie says Brewers is a top pick to me. I get it. And Bookie Lover Q says, which shoulder was hurt? It's his pitching shoulder. But he said his shoulder felt great. And I believe him. There's Ralph Portwando ready to go. Okay. And RKE404 says, if you want to make money, tail all of Ron Crawford's spreadsheet plays. The round robin is always fun. Great call, RKE. That's a great way of using his spreadsheet plays. And I'm very concerned going against it early. Eddie Euler leans Brewers Pirates under 10. You know, I do too. But I'm just not going to do that with Brault right now. I just feel a little uncomfortable backing him off of the IL. And this went from 9.5 to 10. So there's that spot. Let's keep rolling. Now, this is Yankees-Orioles. I would have jumped all over the Orioles first 5 in this spot with Atcher Wojciechowski. And I'm not going to. And it's because of this. He's been battling hip soreness. So he gave up 4 runs in 4 2/3 August 1st versus Toronto, battling hip soreness. It's something he's always had a problem with. And Jimmy Rami says, I like Brault too. I need plus 141, but it means I have to go against the market. Absolutely, I hear that. There's Big Ragu ready to get to work. I love it. There's Sherigan Amaterasu in the house. Now, the reason why this scares me so much is that Wojciechowski probably thinks I need this opportunity so badly. And if I go on the IL for 10 days, I may lose this opportunity or something of that kind, something of that nature. So I expect him to pitch through a hip injury right now because he's so excited. He's so thankful to be in the show right now. And, yeah, not flush. Okay, I got to stop saying that. So I think Wojciechowski's going to play through a hip injury because he has an opportunity to pitch in Major League Baseball. And I would have jumped all over Wojciechowski in this spot against Holder, against a bunch of openers. Does that mean we start taking overs? I mean, how many Yankees and Orioles overs are hitting over and over and over again? But Pinnacle has already moved to 10.5. And Pinnacle's a very sharp book. 32 home runs have been hit by the Yankees at Camden Yards, most by one team at one opposing ballpark in one season baseball history. They did it again Monday night. They had 5 home runs. I looked at that Yankees lineup. It was trash. And that's who got all the hits. All 9 RBIs and all 5 homers were from batters 5 through 9. The Yankees could get Sanchez back this weekend. Holder is just an opener. That's all he's going to be. I'd be curious to see if they have a primary pitcher. Yes, Nestor Cortez, the primary pitcher, a lefty. Nestor Cortez will be coming in. Sherigan Amaterasu says, what is your MLB record after the All-Star break? I could find that out for you, but it's pretty average. If you want, I guess I could. We got to bring in Parlay Poppy. Maybe I could get this information for you. Let me get it for you. But first, let's introduce our next guest. If you want to party with this man, you have to come to Miami. I'm not sure if he's figured out how to put the comments on the screen. So I don't know if he can answer your various questions about the man, the myth, Parlay Poppy. Maybe you have to come to Miami to get that information. Shout out to our next guest representing Los Angeles, California on this Tuesday morning. Parlay Poppy, how are you?
Low baggers, SBR crew, Jimmy, what's poppin'? I'm so excited to be back. It's Tuesday. It's time to turn up Cash Buck, Power Hour, whatever you want to call it. Miami, 2 weeks away, guys. Listen, figure it out. Tickets are available somehow. Get in touch with SBR, Jimmy the Bag, harass them, DM them 20 times a day, try to get their FaceTime, harass them like enough that would make any psychotic ex-girlfriend proud. They're going to get you a GoFundMe or something. We'll figure it out, man. Miami, 2 weeks away, Jimmy. I cannot wait.
2 weeks away. I can't wait. It's the only thing really keeping me together right now. I've been in the throes of, I don't know what to call it. A little depressed, a little drunk. And I'm looking forward to Miami very, very much. Carlos Peroche, though, says Parlay Poppy hair is flawless. So that's a good way for us to get rolling. Poppy, let's see. We got a lot of work to do, a lot of games to get through. So what's the first game on your card? Let's get to work.
Yeah, help me out with the comments, man. Still got a big fucking problem. I don't like it at all. But look, we're here. We're live. And let's get to some of the games. You want to touch on anything real quick or just dive into some of the looks I like today?
I want to just dive into the looks. I'm already on game one for the White Sox with Cease, and it's going against the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play, so I'm very concerned about it. But that's my only spot. I'd like you to lead the way.
Backing Cease, huh? Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens with that one. I think that there's a lot of games. I got to take some more time. I've had a really busy morning last night. So, first one, Yamamoto versus Wheeler, right? I've been making a lot of money since All-Star break on Yamamoto, on totals and things like that. So, let's break this down like this. Wheeler coming off the DL, I think 10 days ago. I mean, he's looking okay, I guess. 2 outings against the White Sox and the Pirates, winning both of them. Limited pitch count, but I think they'll probably unleash the reins a little bit on him today. He's definitely not the same pitcher as he was last year, despite having a higher K rate and the lowest walk rate of his career. Not the same dude. And on the other side, Yamamoto's been making me that buck, like it just said, man. 20 innings in the last 4 games, 17 earned runs. This guy's a fly ball pitcher, right? With a ground out to air out ratio around the .70 mark. That's really bad. And considering that he has a 47% hard hit contact rate away from home, sounds like it's going to be a problem again for this guy not to get abused by this hot hitting Mets squad. So let's take into consideration this. We're looking at it face value. On the road, Yamamoto allowing a .13 batting average and a whip of .95. Does that make any sense? No. I mean, we don't even have a size of gains to even get a predicator of how this guy is actually going to do in the big league. So throw that shit out there. It doesn't even matter. But what I do want to angle here is I think that Yamamoto is going to get hit. I mean, he's been smashed every game since. Fly ball pitcher with a fucking heavy, hard hit contact rate, walking 22 batters in 48 innings. I mean, it could be another disaster. Mets are really putting it together right now. This is what they're starting to look like, what we predicted they were kind of going to be like in the beginning of the season before this wild adventure they've gone on so far. So winning 9 of the last 10, over the 500 mark now with some momentum seems to be favoring them in all departments. Offense is hitting top 10 in most of the metrics in the past few weeks. So that being said, besides the offense clicking on all cylinders, Mets team, just remember this, how much we love to live bet these Mets live in June. An 8 ERA bullpen, but now have gone 4-0 in save opportunities the last 2 weeks. Bullpen ERA lowered down to that 3.92 ERA mark. However, still got a FIP in that low 5 range. You know what I mean? So they're walking a lot of batters, mediocre K rate. So, I mean, do we really trust this Mets bullpen? No. And, that's kind of why this price with Wheeler's outrageous, the -200. Good luck with that. But what I do like is I like the Mets. I like the Mets to hit them. I like Mets team total over first 5. And I also like the Mets full game team total over. Although Marlins bullpen is pretty good, I think that the fact Yamamoto is going to get smashed, I do not see him having like a standout outing. It just doesn't make sense with all this momentum, offensive prowess coming on the Mets, right? So I'm gonna take a look probably there in a couple sides. I'll tweet which one I like better, but a Mets team total over 2.5 first 5 in full game 4.5. Jimmy.
Well, Poppy, this just in. Thank you to RKE404. Noesi is in for Yamamoto, and now they're going to be coming off the board. All of the Mets plays here. Noesi in for Yamamoto, and that is confirmed at a few different sites. That just happened. So
that'll be a bullpen day most likely for Miami, right?
Yes.
Man, I wonder what that line for Wheeler will be at in an hour. Jeez.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to kind of regroup with that spot. I mean, how is your feeling on? Let's just focus on what we know on Wheeler now in the second half. Because I have an expectation that the second half will be similar to last year's second half, where he just was untouchable. Do you feel like he's about to go off? And if so, do we think maybe a Marlins team total under might be a look?
Right. I was just going to get onto that just so we could kind of have some content here for this game. I think that Wheeler, I mean, it is going to happen. He's not going to be like that guy he was in the beginning of the season. He did come on real strong last year, right? That was like a very, very, he got in the media a little bit because of how good he was doing. And I think that Wheeler is going to
Okay, we have a quick freeze from our guy Parlay Poppy. Parlay Poppy freezing, and they've taken all those games off the board. So let's move on to a next game. We'll call Parlay Poppy back. To answer you, Sherigan Amaterasu, this is part of the reason why I've been so angry. Since the All-Star break, I'm 73 and 69. And I'm down 2.6 units. So it's just mediocrity, and I'm telling you, it's me reaching late. So I went into the All-Star break 310, down 9.32 units. That was into the All-Star break. And then right now I'm 383, 379, down 11.86 units. So I'm 73 and 69 since the All-Star break, to answer you. Okay, there's Jansen Bonzen in the house. Okay, so we're going to be calling Parlay Poppy up again right now. Let's just keep rolling. We just did the Yankees-Orioles game, and Wojciechowski, I want to back them so bad. I want to go back to that first five but I'm a little uncomfortable. And the only play I'm on right now is the White Sox plus 101, but I warn you, that's going against Ron Crawford's spreadsheet plays, which makes me uncomfortable. All right, Parlay Poppy back in action. Parlay Poppy, they've completely taken the team totals off the board, so why don't we move on to your next game and hammer that? What's next on your card?
Right on. All right, so let's look at the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Our boy Kershaw striking out past our guy Sandy Koufax, but walking 5. Couldn't have been too happy with that performance. And then we got Michaelis, the St. Louis Cardinals pitcher, pitching in L.A. So let's look at it like this. St. Louis trending in the completely wrong way at the wrong time. Completely cold bats, averaging 2.4 runs per game. In the last 8, losing 6 of those last 8. I mean, they really got to put it down together in this stretch, which I really don't think is going to happen, in my opinion. On the other side, it's the Dodgers, 18 games above the NL. I mean, these guys are coasting, and that's going to always be a problem now that we're deeper in this season, if they're going to actually do anything. So I'm not going to step in front of the Dodgers home team, 44 and 15 against a struggling offensive a team in the Cardinals. No way, regardless of how Kershaw's been looking, which isn't even that bad. Yeah, he sucked last week, but whatever. What I want to do is keep it simple. Michaelis on the road, 2-6 on the road. Highest slugging percentage of his career, or allowing a batting average on the road at that .315 mark, and allowing this is the big standout, .413 weighted on base average against lefty. You got the whole fucking home run derby lefties on Dodgers: Bellinger, Verdugo, Peterson, Seager, Muncy. I mean, Michaelis has seen this guy for 17 at bats, and there's not too much to go off of there. But look, he's really struggling on the road, especially against left-handed hitters, and we got a left-handed bomb squad on the Dodgers ready to tear them up. So we know Kershaw gets run support. He looks a little bit weird out there. He's got some funky movement, and he doesn't look as in control. But every time this guy goes 6+ innings, and I think that with St. Louis being overall not being able to hit lefties that well, and now being on the road struggling, Kershaw should be able to do some work here. So what I want to look at is Michaelis giving up 3 or more runs every time he's been away from home since May 1st. And he hasn't even gotten out of the 6th inning, basically, away. So with this lefty heavy lineup, how do we not take these Dodgers team totals, right? Unless some guys are sitting we don't know about. I think the Dodgers are just going to roll here. So I want to take the Dodgers to hit Michaelis, that first 5 at 2.5, and we got a plus 100 at that, and I like that a lot. It's a little bit of a weird line. I think that it should be weighed juiced differently, but we're going to go with it. And I also want to take the Dodgers here straight up. The Dodgers bullpen shows some vulnerability, but they're still 4-0 in the last couple save opportunities they had in the last couple of weeks, and they always have that intangible, capable gift of pulling a rabbit out of the hat to fucking win these games. They have no business of winning. So there's no way that I'm going to get in the way of this magic Dodgers team. I'm going to take a -1 at home, -130, and we're going to take the first 5 team total over to smash out Michaelis at plus 100.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, there's a couple things that concern me, and you are in LA. Nutflush Allen saying, who's very close to LA, says the Cardinals are the Dodgers' kryptonite. Clearly, we did not see that last night. And Or did he say Kershaw's kryptonite? Excuse me, Kershaw kryptonite.
Well,
Kershaw's
the
kryptonite.
thing is here. The thing is here, Jimmy. I mean, they're not even hitting him that hard, right? The Cardinals, and we got to look at it like this: like, okay, the St. Louis Cardinals have won like 8 of the last 9 games, whatever, in the last year. Every single one of those games is played in St. Louis, except this one that they just lost now in Dodger Stadium, where they're dominating. I get the trend that, yeah, St. Louis has been able to dismantle the Dodgers, but that's in St. Louis. That's not here. And we're taking this into like a year and a half thing. I don't need to go look back 3-4 years to try to get some metric on this stuff. But I see that angle. I just don't see it happening right now, especially with these cold as ice bats. You know what I mean? I don't see it happening.
I think it's going to be a low scoring first 5. To be honest with you, a play that I wanted to make was Michaelis and the Cards first 5. I know that he's allowed at least 3 runs in his road starts, but he has stepped up in the second half since the All-Star break, and I expect him to continue to do so. I don't know if I have the balls to do it. JP said Cardinal bats are inconsistent. Brooke Jordan said Cardinals are struggling in consistency with hitting, and I agree with all of that. But I just, and I know Russell Gordy fades Kershaw first 5 all the time, and this first 5, 4.5 is maybe what I'll focus on. If we think Kershaw can keep getting to these Cardinals, how do they hit lefties as a total? I have their numbers against Kershaw, they're fine. But 244, 741 OPS. I actually think Michaelis steps up in this spot. Bookie Lover Q says, no, Jimmy, Dodgers gave no mercy against struggling contenders. I would be interested in the under 4.5. The under 4.5 has had a 5-cent move towards the under, first 5, under 4.5. What do you think of that? Oh, we've lost. Oh, there he is. There's Poppy. What do you think of the under 4.5 in this spot, Poppy?
I mean, what makes you think that Michaelis isn't going to get hit? What are we angling here?
I know we have a small sample size of 17 at bats against the Dodgers, but I see Michaelis as an ace who will step up in situations. Now, if you look at his last few starts, he's at home against the Cubs. He allows 6 hits, but lightly. Like, they got nothing against them. They got 1 unearned run against them in 5 2/3. Then against Pittsburgh at home, he goes the complete game. So we have those 2 road starts in between that were average, at Pittsburgh, at Cincinnati, 3 earned runs allowed. I just feel like he's an ace who can step up in a situation like this. That's why I feel like he's an ace. Anthony L says Dodgers will cover the first 5 total by themselves. So that doesn't give me any more confidence. I feel like Michaelis is an ace. That's all. And I think that the dichotomy between his home and road numbers, they'll regress back to the mean.
Right. And that's true. They're overinflated. The guy isn't a garbage can, but at the same time, that's something that you have to look at. The fact that these left-handed batters are abusing him so hard, this Dodgers team that is so potent at home, and the fact that it's a lefty home run fucking derby with these Dodger boys. I mean, I don't see that angle because I think that Kershaw is also a little bit vulnerable. So I couldn't hop on that play. I don't see it. Unless, you really believe that Michaelis is just going to be crushing it and Kershaw dices. So that's the only way that I could see that side working. It doesn't seem like the numbers are even pointing in that way as a possibility. But, maybe the Dodgers get 4 and St. Louis doesn't get any.
No, I hear what you're saying. And chances 7-11 record for Michaelis is not an ace numbers. No, he's not having an ace-type season. Last year, he did have an ace-type season. And I know it helped because, he's coming from Asia and people hadn't seen him. Stuff like that of that nature. Look, I get it. And I'm not going to take the Cards hearing you and Ant on the other side. I'm not going to take the Cards. But I'm not going to take the Dodgers either. And I'm not going to take the Dodgers either. But I am interested in that first 5 under 4.5. But after what Ant said, I'll stay off it. What's next on your card?
All right. We'll go just straight to that Red Sox game. Obviously probably got the nail in the coffin in the AL races, just over the last couple weeks. We can see that, the entire pitching rotation from start all the way to the end of the bullpen has fucking blown these guys chances of doing anything. It just shows how lucky you are sometimes to get to the World Series and then win. It's like everything has to be in alignment completely. And that's why, sometimes taking those futures on World Series, I mean, it's like fucking betting Keno. So regardless, the Red Sox, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, their offense is still rolling, still one of the best in the league, still one of the best in the league in the last couple of weeks. KC is like KC, but I kind of like this matchup of Junis and Cashner. Cashner absolutely looks uncomfortable in Boston, and Junis pretty spotty, a little better on the road. But we've made some money backing him in certain situations. But the thing is, I don't think this is a situation that really has a side. I think it's just totals because Cashner has seen limited Royals. He has 37 at bats, but they're hitting a .324 average off him. Allowing 19 runs in the past 21 innings, 10 walks, just looks fucking terrible right now. And I see an atrocious bullpen on both sides. So even if we don't have more than 6 or 7 runs in the first 5 or something, we could easily see 5 to 7 coming out of nowhere from the bullpen. I mean, just watching Eovaldi and the crew yesterday in the Red Sox, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's crazy how things can just completely spin the other way so quickly one season. So I mean, just riding the trend here, weather blowing out 12 miles per hour southeast at Fenway, a little bit better hitting conditions, over 10 in the last 12 Boston's game, thanks to the pitching. Over in 6 of the last 9 Boston when playing Kansas City. Kansas City over 8 of the last 10 on the road against the American League. So I got over 10.5, -110, just trying to keep it pretty basic. Don't need to completely dissect these guys. I think offense, bad bullpens are live here.
Yeah, and these guys get smashed by the opponents. Junis, the Red Sox are hitting .333 with a .917 OPS off him, and the Royals are hitting .324 with a 1.058 OPS off of Cashner. But Junis does step up this time of year. And if you look at his last few starts, let's do that quickly, and then we'll bring in our guy, Ant L. But if you look at Junis' last few starts, which I want to do here as soon as possible, please load. There we go. Let's get to it right now. Red Sox, Junis, Jacob Junis. And obviously, look at his road stuff. His road numbers are better than his home numbers. 4.24 ERA away from home. Boston has his number, though. They've smashed him this year. But of late, he got touched last 2 home starts. What am I talking about? Toronto put 4 earned runs on him. Cleveland put 6 earned runs on him. His last road start, he shut out Cleveland over 6. And before that, the Nationals just 7 over 2. Or just 2 over 7, excuse me. Coactus says fading Cashner. That's what I'd like to do. Eddie Euler says we got to win this series. That's the bottom line. That's coming from Alex Cora. There's David H. in the house. I'd like to back the Royals again. First 5. I figure if you back the Royals and Orioles first 5 on the money line in every game in these 2 series, that you should end up with just a couple wins. You should end up in the black. But I'm afraid to do it at this point. I can understand you're over. Big Ragu backing you're over. And it is blowing out to left field, the wind. I could understand that, but I'm not going to make a move on it. I'm going to take a little more time on this. And Frank says Junis is vulnerable here. Von Polo saying I like the Minnesota Lynx tonight. I'll copy and paste that. I hear you're on the over in the Royals-Red Sox spot. What's the next game on your card? Because we got to get to Ant L. Is there another game on your card?
Not that it's worth completely touching on, so we'll save some stuff for later on, Jimmy.
Okay, well then, will you be joining us getting hammered on Michelob Lights for the late show?
You remember, Jimmy? Oh man, I got work later on, but listen, I know that the chat, we get super live. You're talking shit about my fucking hair in my face. I'm just kidding. I got love for all negative or positive, with the negative comments. I know you're probably just projecting how you feel about your hair or your face, or maybe just having a bad day. And, thankfully for me, I do not base my physical validation on, getting compliments on the internet, on YouTube, on this show that is probably a 90% male demographic. So It is what it is, but you know what? Regardless, I love all you all the same. We are low baggers. We are a team. Love it or hate it. We are on the same squad. So come to the family reunion 2 weeks away. Harass Jimmy, harass SBR, harass your mom and dad, harass your friends, harass your girlfriend. Tell her to give you the fucking buck to get it together. So we'll be there 2 weeks from now, getting volatile, getting creepy, getting weird, getting super lit. Can't wait to see you guys later. See you tomorrow. Peace out. Bye-bye.
There's our guy, Parlay Poppy _ it's Poppy under Parlay _ Poppy is his Twitter handle. Do follow him. Creepy, weird, volatile, and lit, says our guy Parlay Poppy. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to have you back again tomorrow. He's on the over in the Royals Red Sox. He is also on the team total over for the Dodgers, and he wanted to fade Yamamoto, but will not get that chance now that there's been a pitching change. All right, let's move quickly from Los Angeles to Nebraska, where we have Ant L, star of the Sports Keg, joining us. Love capping baseball with this guy, and let's welcome him to the show. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. How's your morning gone?
I'm pretty good, Jimmy. And Poppy, everyone loves your hair. And I'm not a guy that's in position to make fun of anybody's hair, so.
I agree. I love Poppy's hair as well. I love his hair as well. And let's get right to work, and let's hear where you're leading us. What's the first game on your card, my guy?
I'm just going to jump in on the game that I actually on the same play as Poppy is on this Dodgers-Cardinals game. You just want to look at Mikolas here. His lefty-righty splits are terrible. He's terrible against lefties. Lefties are hitting .298 against him with the .360 on-base percentage, .493 slugging, .359 WOBA, and it's even worse on the road. Lefties are hitting .333 against him on the road, .400 on-base percentage, .604 slugging, and .413 WOBA. He gets fucking destroyed on the road by lefties, and we all know who the hell the Dodgers have in their lineup. He's going to get murdered today. I don't like this matchup at all. This is all about matchups, and this is a terrible matchup for Mikolas. This is a terrible spot for him completely. I'm on the Dodgers first 5 run line, -115. I'm on the Dodgers team total over on the first 5, over 2.5 at -120, and I have 2 units on the first 5 team total over for the Dodgers.
Wow.
I think they just completely crush them.
Yeah, wow. It's nice to hear that angle. That completely gets me off of what I was doing. And something that Matthew Carl was saying yesterday on the show, he was saying, men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't lie. He kept making me say it over and over and over again. And that is an example of it. And I can't let what I think Mikolas is going to do down the stretch here get in the way with what the numbers are explaining to us. So I get it. And now, wow, look, David H. is also on Detroit first game. David H. and Ron Crawford. I think I might be put myself in a bad spot. Okay, so we've started off with Ant backing Parlay Poppy, and usually when we have 2 of our guests on the same play, it cashes. They're both on Dodgers team total overs. All right, let's keep rolling along. Ant, what's next on the docket?
Okay, so this is the Indians and Rangers. So last night, I thought I was going to like one side of this when I started to break the game down. I thought I was going to have a bet on this game, and I did wind up with a bet on this game, but it's not what I thought I was going to bet until I broke down the numbers. So we got Plesac versus Gerardo starting pitching matchup. Plesac's been pretty good this year, 3.41 ERA and a 1.15 WHIP. Until you look at his advanced numbers, he's got a 5.53 FIP, fielding independent pitching number, and a 5.31 SIERA. He's got a 2.21 BABIP against. Batting average of balls in play against him is 2.21. And I've talked about this before, where like a league average BABIP against this pitcher is between 290 and 310. So there is lots of room for negative regression here in his BABIP. And he's got an 81.8% strand rate, or left on base percentage, however you want to call that. 81.8% is unsustainable, especially for a pitch to contact pitcher like Plesac. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys. He strikes out under 18% of batters. So I'm looking for a lot of negative regression here coming out of Plesac, because we got to remember, this is his rookie year, and he has a very small sample size on some of these numbers. So when you want to look at his WHIP and his ERA, it's kind of a compressed number, and those numbers should go towards, his advanced metrics a bit. On the other side of it, we have the Rangers, and Gerardo he is what he is. You look at his advanced numbers, they're the same as his ERA. He's just a bad pitcher. But, his ERA is still lower than what Plezak's Sierra and FIP tell you that his ERA should be. And then you kind of want to look at, the last 30 days. The Indians got really hot there for a while on offense, but they've cooled off. Last couple weeks, they have a 96 WRC plus, which is slightly below average. 323 WOBA. It isn't that good. It's not abysmal, but it's still just below league average. And the Rangers offense has gotten hotter. They have a 108 WRC plus over the last 2 weeks, a 344 WOBA. This is a numbers grab here. I'm looking at two starting pitchers where I think when you look at the advanced metrics, the numbers they cancel each other out. It's a wash with these starters. And then you look at the offenses. The Rangers' offense is slightly hotter. The Indians' offense has cooled off substantially over the last couple of weeks, because before that they were, top 3 in the league in all these numbers, and now they're cooling down. I'm actually on the Rangers here at plus 160, and I'm on the Rangers' first 5 team total over 2.5 at even money. And I just I see a lot of people wanting to bet the Indians here. And I understand if you don't want to bet the Rangers because they're an underdog and it'll probably lose more often than not. I just want to warn people, if you don't want to follow me on the Rangers, that doesn't mean you should bet the Indians. You cannot be laying minus 180 on a starting pitcher with a 531 Sierra. That is lighting money on fire long-term betting baseball. It might work out today because they are a better team than the Rangers, but you want to talk long-term, you bet starting pitchers with a 531 Sierra at the number of minus 180. Just kiss your bankroll goodbye.
I love the breakdown, and I felt this way about Plezak a couple starts ago, and I faded him, and he had a nice start, and I stopped. Mm-hmm. I just stopped doing it because I don't understand exactly how he's getting through. You just spoke about it, the amount of runners on base that he's stranding and things of that nature, but that just keeps me from fading him still. He's 6-3, 1.15 whip, but he can't get strikeouts when he needs them. He walks too many batters. I'm waiting for him to start getting touched, and he seems to be getting away from it at this point. I like your move.
It's a small sample size, though. He's only pitched about 60 innings on the year, so.
No, I hear you. And I was saying the same stuff 2 weeks ago when I faded him and lost. I can totally understand why you would be in the situation here where you would be backing the Rangers for plus money. Gerardo makes me uncomfortable, but if you think Plezak's going to get touched too, what do you think about just backing the over? Or you think the bats in Cleveland are too cold and there's no Gallo for Texas?
The problem with the over is I was looking at the over a bit, but it's 10.5. And I'm just not interested in betting a lot of overs that are double digits, unless you're talking about the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, when they're probably going to get 8 runs off of some trash team. Or, if we're talking Colorado, that's a different story. But there's very little value right now in overs in baseball because the bookmakers have adjusted these totals by almost a full run since earlier on in the year. It is ridiculous to just be blindly betting over 10.5. Now, I could definitely see this being an 8-6 type of game and the over getting there, but I'm not going to bet on it. So I'm just off the total because I absolutely want no part of the under when you have 2 starting pitchers who I think are definitely capable of getting touched, but it doesn't mean I'm taking the over either. So I'm off the total other than the Rangers' first 5 team total over 2.5.
Yeah, I absolutely get it. Absolutely get it. Okay, great breakdown. And those of you who are on the innings are probably concerned. Eddie Orr said, Plezak's won 3 straight starts. Yeah, 6-3. But if you look at those numbers, we're just sitting back waiting for regression to happen. We'll see when it happens. What's next on your card, Dan?
So the third game I'm on, the third and final game, is the Twins and the Braves. We have the return of Mike Foltynewicz from the minors. And before he went down to the minors, he was fucking horrendous. He had a 6.37 ERA, 6.15 FIP, 5.00 Sierra, a 1.42 WHIP. He was giving up hard contact at over 44%. His strikeout percentage this year is down 8% from last year. He's striking out less than 20% of the batters. He's been absolutely terrible, which is why they sent him down to AAA. When he was down to AAA, you look at his numbers, you're like, okay, well, actually, he's improved a lot. His ERA got a lot lower. And then you look at it, he didn't give up any home runs. He finally solved his home run problem in AAA. Because he was giving up like over 2.5 home runs a game or per 9 innings on average before he got sent down. But that's kind of an extreme. But then you look at his AAA numbers and it's like 1.8 fly ball to home run ratio. That's a massive extreme also. That's going to come meet itself in the middle. I don't like Fulte at all here. I don't like a starting pitcher who gives up 44% hard contact, and before he got sent down to the minors, he was giving up 20% fly ball home run ratio, going up against the Twins, who are one of the best home run hitting teams in baseball. They have the best launch angle in baseball. Their entire offensive philosophy is geared around launch angle and swinging for the fences, and that's been abundant for them this year. They've been fantastic offensively. I think this is a terrible matchup for Fulte. His first start back from the minors. And on the other side, I really like Berrios. He's got 2.80 ERA, 110 WHIP. He's striking out over almost 23% of his batters. So you got a better starting pitcher. You got a much better offense in the Twins offense. They have a 114 WRC plus versus a 99 WRC plus over the last month. They got a 347 WOBA versus the Braves WOBA's at 327 over the last month. I like the Twins here. I don't see any advantage on the Braves. So I took the Twins first 5 and full game. I had the Twins first 5 run line minus 120, and I had the Twins full game -1 with a plus 110 run line and minus 150 money line.
I like that action a lot. I like that action. I like that breakdown. That makes a ton of sense to me. And I'm going to roll with you on both of those right now. That is a great breakdown. I'm going to line chop right now. I already see the first 5 minus. I have a minus 110 at Bookmaker. While I'm line chopping, because I'm going to straight tail that, and I have a question for you about Greinke in this spot today. Mm-hmm. Now, we know that Greinke is a interesting guy. You know, he's got, I don't want to say like mental health issues, but he's a different sort of guy. And routine means so much to him. It means enormous amounts to him. And being a sort of a peculiar guy, when he gets out of his routine, that's when his mental health stuff sort of pops up. And I don't think he wanted to be traded. And I just don't think he wanted at all to be traded. And now he goes over to Houston, and he's having a good season. Do you think that his mental health gets in the way and he gets touched this evening?
I have no idea how to handicap that. I mean, I'm not a psychologist. I can't get into this guy's head. You know, what I know about Greinke is he's one of the best starting pitchers in the league for the last decade. I know that. But on his mental issues and things like that, I'm not in a position to comment on how that's going to affect him. On tonight's game in particular, I'm not laying minus 200 to fade Marquez because I think Marquez has the best stuff of any Rocky starting pitcher. He's been really great his last 2 starts, but at the same time, he's been kind of Jekyll and Hyde this year. I mean, he's had a lot of terrible starts this year. And he's had a lot of really good starts this year. So I'm kind of off the game. I don't see any advantage of laying, $2 on the Astros here, especially with question marks on how well Greinke's going to pitch. But I don't necessarily see any advantage on trying to bet against the Astros at home because you don't know what you're going to get out of Marquez half the time. Sometimes he pitches how he should pitch, to his talent level. And then other times it's like, oh, look at that. He gave up 7 freaking runs. So the Astros have a really good lineup. So I could see Marquez going either way on this. To me, with this game, the question mark is how Marquez is going to do. It's not so much Greinke. So I'm just kind of off of it.
Yeah, that answer makes a ton of sense. Ronnie Christie says, why wouldn't he want to get traded to Houston, a top contender, though? Ronnie Christie, you think he cares? Greinke does not care about being in a top contender, he would have stayed with the Dodgers. And the Dodgers were going to pay him close to what Arizona. He wanted cash. He wants to be comfortable. He does not care about winning. Greinke does not give a fuck about winning. All right, so so Eddie Euler, I predict that I'm going to make a move against Greinke today. I'm just not sure how I'm going to handle it. Thank you so much for joining us, and I straight-tailed your Twins action. I got first 5 minus a half, minus 110. I got the full game on the -1 line. I got a minus 148 money line and a plus 115 run line. And thank you so much. Could you go over your action, your official plays one more time, and then tell us where we could find you on Twitter, and just speak for a second about the sports keg that you're the star of?
All right. Dodgers first 5 run line, minus 115, and Dodgers first 5 team total over 2.5 at minus 120, and that's a 2-unit bet on the Dodgers first 5 team total over. Rangers full game plus 160. Rangers first 5 team total over 2.5 at even money, and the Twins first 5 run line minus 120, and Twins full game -1. And you can find me at @AntL_SportsKeg on Twitter. And you can find us on the Sports Keg YouTube channel. Just search the Sports Keg. We do live betting every night. We try to put money in people's pockets. We're usually on between 5-6 hours a night. Just trying to find good spots to live bet. And we're gearing up for football season. Can't wait for football because all we've had is baseball to bet for the last couple of months. So, and baseball seasons, even for a big baseball fan like me who likes to bet baseball daily, it can be a bit of a grind. So we're looking forward to football. And we're up over I think it's like 245 units on the year since we started the show back in late January.
There he is, and I'm a big fan of the Sports Keg. I get to do it with them on Wednesday nights, so check it out. They do great work, and so does.
You going to keep it to 1 bottle tomorrow?
I apologize. I apologize for last Wednesday. I remember very little of it. I got close to blackout somehow. I apologize. And I know there's things I need to apologize for. But there's my guy, NL, and I can't wait to work with him again tomorrow night on the Sports Keg. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's move right over to our guy, Drew Martin. Drew Martin will be live and with a beverage in hand in Miami at the Diplomat Beach Resort in less than 2 weeks. Drew, how you doing on this Tuesday morning?
Good, man. Jimmy, thanks for having me on. Happy Tuesday morning to you. And yeah, you're right. It's right around the corner, 2 weeks away. Beverage in hand. I'm trying to decide what to go with. I've been on a good rum streak right now, but also beer. Don't want to disregard the beer. So you got blackout last week, huh, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm not proud of it. I was just depressed, I guess, and then because I had a half 26er of rum. I hammered that in like an hour. I finished that off. Went to another bottle and hammered that off. And then next it's only like 7:30 at night. I don't know. I have no excuses. I'm ashamed of myself.
It's in Costa Rica. It's allowed, man. It's even encouraged.
I don't feel good about it. Okay, let's get right to work, Drew. Let's get right to work. What's the first game on your card?
I actually got one play that I've locked in. I mean, interested in a couple other plays today, but one play, and it might be off the board. It takes a kind of certain type of gambler to go after this one, and at least for today, I qualify. But it's the New York Yankees, Baltimore Orioles. Full disclosure, I have lost 3 of my last plays. I did hit that Phillies play, but unfortunately, only put a half a unit on it. Either way, we got Holder on the hill for the Yankees. Looks like kind of a bullpen day for the Yankees, at least a reliever starting here out the gate. But really on Asher, can't even fully pronounce his last name here, but I have bet on him a couple times already. And pronouncing names it does not put money in your pocket. I have learned that one. Either way, good article on him on Fangraphs a couple weeks ago about, we talk about finding change, Jimmy. He's changed up his arsenal in terms of his pitches. He swapped his changeup and his four-seamer for a cutter, and he's gotten a 25% swinging strike rate on that cutter. And it's really changed what he's been able to do in MLB since he's been up. 10.5 being the total, seeing a minus 200 price tag on the Yankees. Now, granted, the Yankees lineup, it's one of the hottest in baseball, but
Baltimore of late is starting to swing the bat as well. And a lot of times these under the radar teams, not very good teams, especially in the NL East, Baltimore down there at the bottom, they put up 6 runs in each of their last 3 games. But behind Asher, they've been playing pretty well. So I think that at a over plus 180 right now on the Baltimore Orioles. Jimmy, I like them first 5 more so, but in full game as well. I split up the bet first 5 and full game, plus 180 plus right now on the Orioles. So I'm going with the Orioles tonight.
I love it. My whole plan was to take the Orioles first 5, and I got very scared when Wojciechowski talked about his hip and the pain that he has in his hip and how he's dealt with it his whole career, but it's affecting him right now. And I was just certain that he's not going to want to go on the IL or tell anybody or anything, because this is a 30-year-old journeyman who's had a couple cups of coffee in the show and been destroyed. And now, before that last start, he was running really well. And I have this fear he's not going to be honest about his injury because he doesn't want this ride to end. And that's going to keep me off of the Orioles today. Simply that. And maybe I'm overthinking the situation, but my plan to back Wojciechowski against an opening spot with the Yankees was full. And just thinking about, if I was in his shoes, would I want people to know how bad my hip is hurting? And maybe I wouldn't. And that kept me off the play. But I could understand your breakdown completely. There's the taint play of the day. Also, we have the taint play of the day. Atlanta, Minnesota, under 10. Taint play of the day. James Moneyhunt said first 5 yesterday on Orioles was a loss. Yeah, James, try to put stuff in the chat that might... Okay. Yeah, we understand what happened in baseball yesterday, James. Okay, Drew, what's next on the card?
All right, and Jimmy, about your let's see here, your point on Wojciechowski being injured. You don't think it would have something to do with facing the Yankees here? It's a tough lineup, and he might be able to kind of push it back a game or two because of an injury. That that kind of mindset might be a part of this as well.
Look, it's probably a mistake to be, and it's Ant kind of referred to that with me trying to get in Greinke's head. So this is probably a mistake, but I feel you, James. It's usually a mistake to analyze stuff that I don't know anything about. So I'm probably making a mistake here, but what I think is that his hip is sore. He admits his hip is sore, but he doesn't want to miss this opportunity to pitch in the major leagues, and he's not going to, and he'll pitch through the pain. It's the way I see it.
I got you. And your Greinke point, the Rockies, I believe, are 0-8 their last 8 games, and I mean 0-8 towards the under. That's something to keep in mind. So they're getting good bullpen, and their lineup has gone quiet as well. Something to keep in mind on that Houston-Colorado game. I mean, talking about change with Greinke, I did catch the back half of your conversation with Ant as I was getting set up with Rafa. I think you're onto something there. Greinke is a type of guy that likes his, I guess you can say, routine. And obviously his lifestyle has got to change with his location change here. So I think you might be onto something there. I didn't read into that a lot before the show, but I wouldn't talk you off of that. And another game here, Atlanta, Minnesota, Fulte versus Berrios. Taint play of the day was on the under, correct, Jimmy?
Yes, the taint play of the day is on the under.
I like where he's going with that, because Fulte, he did have a rough performance earlier this year, but with the rest going down and, a lot of guys kind of turn it around. We've seen it time and time again. Fulte is a guy with high upside. He's got the stuff, electric stuff, got the movement on the pitches. Just when he came up this past year, didn't have it. We have seen success in the past. Berrios, on the other hand, one of the better pitchers in the American League, in my opinion, and having to lay a price against this Mets lineup, or against this Braves lineup, of minus 150. I'm not interested in that. And at the same time, Atlanta with Fulte being a question mark. So I think his look towards the under is the way to play the Braves and the Twins.
That's an interesting look. Again, I just don't know what we're going to get from Fulte here, and I feel like we know what we're going to get from Berrios, and I'm not against the breakdown at all by any means, but I am going to fade Greinke in some form or another, and hopefully prey on his mental weakness is what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's how I plan this. But we'll talk more and more about it. Aaron Bitch said Fulte had high upside. Kids' bullets are dried up. We'll have to see. But I hear that, Aaron. Okay, what's next on the card, Drew?
I mean, I haven't bet anything else as of right now. Jimmy, seeing San Diego with Lamet on the hill. Seattle, I couldn't get confirmation on their pitching, but Lamet on the hill for San Diego. He's a guy that, top line stuff, like we've talked about, guys I'm looking to bet on, and especially against that Seattle defense. I think we get some extra, I guess, value there with the Padres around the minus 120-ish price tag is what I'm seeing on SBR odds right now at Bookmaker, but still the undecided pitcher for Seattle. I haven't gotten involved, but I am looking towards the Padres in the nightcap tonight.
Looking at the Padres in the nightcap, that's funny because LeBlanc is just a tricky pitcher, but I feel like the Padres have just no heart and are just mailing in the second half of the year. And I don't know what to make of Lamet. He's one of those guys, if you do the eye test, he looks like he's got spectacular stuff. But I'm probably not going to make a move on that at this point. And I'm certainly not going to trust the Padres on the road, even though they're better on the road than they are at home. I'll have to see. What is the line for that Padres Mariners game? Here we go. Full game, money lines and totals. Padres Mariners. Oh, wow. So they're going with the starter before LeBlanc. That upsets LeBlanc so much. Why don't you just, who cares? The season's over, but LeBlanc is no longer the starter and that game's off the board at this point. Okay, there's some games that we haven't touched on. I'm going to need Nutflush Allen to study that Nationals-Giants spot, but there's some games we haven't touched on that I wouldn't mind just hearing a quick lean from, if you don't mind. Two marquee matchups. First, A's at Cubs. Brett Anderson, John Lester, two lefties going at it. The A's smash lefties. The Cubs struggle with lefties. Do you have any? And let's go with the money lines and totals for A's, Cubs. A total at 9.5. Has an 4-cent move to the under, and then a 5-cent move to the A's. You can get the Cubs right now from anywhere between minus 136 and minus 146. You have any feel for this A's Cubs spot?
Two hot teams here, Jimmy, and I'll tell you, I did lose a small bet on the A's last night. I still feel like it was, kind of the right side there, but that's the way baseball goes, especially post All-Star break. I'm interested in the A's going forward. I mean, I think that this team's hot. They're seeing the ball well. I know the Cubs have won a bunch of games straight, but still, Oakland has been playing good baseball as well. You mentioned it. They smash lefties. The Chicago Cubs, not so much. Not that Anderson's, a great pitcher or anything, but I think he can have success tonight, and especially at a pretty big plus price here. I'm surprised to see the Cubs minus 145-ish. I guess Lester, he pitches a lot better at Wrigley. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but still, if you made me bet it, and heck, by first pitch, I might be on the Oakland A's.
Yeah, I'm never going to back Anderson ever again. I just think he's terrible, but he does well. I mean, it's like the numbers. It's Matt Carl's numbers don't lie thing. Okay, nice breakdown, Drew. And just before we put a bow on this boy, I'm very interested in Jake Arrieta versus Mike Leake. Leake's first start as a Diamondback. Leake, a guy who I believe is mentally tough. Arrieta dealing with these bone spurs in his elbow. Philadelphia, Arizona, total open at 10, now down to 9.5. And Arizona opened at a minus 107. There's been a 28-cent move towards Leake and the Diamondbacks. What do you think the spot here, Phillies at Diamondbacks?
Yeah, this is an interesting handicap. I mean, I broke this one down a little bit, and you brought it up with Arrieta kind of having some issues there with his elbow or his arm, and then we have the change, kind of like we were talking about with Greinke, with Leake. Change of venues here, change of teams. It's always a tricky handicap. Not that it's not a beatable situation. It's just a situation. I feel like you really got to dig deep into this. Get the press clippings, the beat writers. Follow these guys personally on Twitter, see what they're saying, their pictures, are they behind on stuff, what's on their mind, how they've kind of dealt with this situation in the past. Leak, from everything I've kind of, from a glimpse view, picked up with the guy, from Arizona State. He's always, the mindset is always right. He might not have elite level stuff, but I don't see this type of lifestyle change really affecting him like you were starting to point towards it affecting Greinke. I don't think that same situation will happen with Leak. However, I could be wrong, and it is a tricky handicap, kind of a unique handicap. But I would look for Leak to do well, and I lean towards betting on him rather than fading him.
Yeah, I agree with that, and good point by Nutflush Allen right now. Nutflush saying, remember, guys, the teams that start mailing it in, a key factor is to watch for them when on the road, because they will tend to get involved in everything other than baseball in these cities. That's such a good point. Eddie Oller saying Leak was pretty decent on the crummy Seattle team. He was very decent. 1.26 whip, 19 walks in 137 innings. Not afraid to stick around the plate. Well, great stuff, Drew. I've got a lot of work to do on this card, and we do have the first live audible, so I'm only going to have a little bit of time to work on it, but I have to do more. Right now, I'm only on the White Sox, game 1 plus 101, and that's going against cappers that I do not want to be going against. That's going against David H. That's going against the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play. But I'm higher on Cease than everyone else, and I think the fact that he's hanging a 6.43 ERA and a 1.54 whip in everybody's face just gives me extra juice. And this White Sox bullpen is pitching very well. And then nothing. The only other thing I'm on is I've doubled up here on the Minnesota Twins first 5 and full game. Fatfist says Cease's ERA is in the 6s. Who cares? I mean, what are we talking about, 28 innings? This guy was a very highly thought of prospect, and I expect him to play a little better. I'm on the White Sox plus 101, but I am not. Hearing that spreadsheet is against it, I don't know if I would recommend tailing what I'm on at this point. Drew, so I'm only on 2 games right now. Could you go over your official picks once more? Tell us where we can find you on Twitter and what shows you have coming up this week.
Sure. At Drew Martin Bets. Be back tomorrow around 11:45 Eastern time, joining you here, Jimmy. And also Saturday mornings, closing line on SBR YouTube channel, breaking it down. Saturday's card with Ian Cameron. Football not too far away, Jimmy. And you brought up the fact, you only got a play or two going. I only have Baltimore plus 182, big underdog against the Yankees. I did split the bet first 5 and full game. And I also wanted to add, lesser volume in August baseball, really anytime post All-Star break. I've had a good MLB season overall, but, can't hide the fact I've given some of it back of late. And it's just a reminder to me, don't go high volume right now in MLB. When I look at years past of how I've done, I've definitely given some back in later in the season. And I want to stay away from that. So I don't think low volume in MLB this time of year is necessarily a bad thing. So as of right now, I just got the Orioles on a big plus price, Jimmy.
Yeah, my whole plan was to make that move. Brooke Jordan saying y'all like White Sox full game under at 9.5. It was a great bet. At 9.5, and it also opened 9.5 heavily juiced to the over. But at 9, I have a little more. If I had a free play to make on the total, I would still make it on the under. But putting my money on it, I'm upset that I didn't get that 9.5, so I am off it. Intex 2016 says Twins over. Lead the league by 27 home runs. Braves bullpen weak. Braves starter struggling. Over. Steven Mendez saying, Jimmy, I like Cease this game. These are the games he needs to show his stuff, especially against bad teams. I'm with you full game in first 5 White Sox. Oh, I like hearing that. Drew, what a treat it is to roll with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, you can see Drew Martin right here on Betting with the Bag. But if you want to party with this man, you have to come to Miami. Drew, could you put a bow on this bad boy and give us a leche so we can roll off into the night?
Well, yeah. Well, I guess what? We'll be partying together down in Miami. Hopefully Rafa makes it as well. Guys, work on your Spanish. I'm telling you, Dade County, a lot of these girls, you might be having to say, Leche a los bookmakers!